Hey, hey, why are we at war right now? Question for the culture. Why is the United States currently in a trade war with Mexico and Canada? You know, its two closest neighbors. Well, see, I just did a thing where I know why, and I'm going to explain it to you, but I'm trying to empathize with how confused you may be because it is truly quite preposterous. For context, this is going to be mostly focused on the relations between Canadians and Americans because I am a Canadian citizen, but I happen to live in the United States right now. It's such a fun time. That's such a fun time to be living in the United States as someone who is not a citizen. Canadians have always had an interesting relationship with Americans. Most people, if you know probably 20 people in Canada, you will know someone who directly is either related to an American, whether like their mom or dad is American, or they have an aunt or an uncle. We're like this, and rightfully so. Our countries are right next to each other. Canada is on top of the United States if you have like the bare minimum of geography. That reminds me of this one time I saw this map where they asked a bunch of Americans to like place on a map where they thought Canada was. Why were people placing their pins on Australia? Why do people think Australia was Canada? Why do people think North Korea was Australia? Oh my God. We've always gotten along for the most part. For some numbers for you, 75% of the gasoline in the United States comes from Canada. Like 1 in 5 cars are made in Canada, and we're not going to get too tradey today because I don't know a single thing about genuinely nothing about the economy. We're going into recession, whatever that means. I don't know. I know I can probably figure it out if I put my brain to it, but I'm in no position to explain the economic side of things. However, I do know how and why it is so bonkers and stupid that we are in the position that we are. So, essentially, Donald Trump throws hissy fit, puts 25% tariffs on Canada and 25% tariffs on Mexico. What is a tariff? So I didn't know until basically a few months ago. A tariff is, say a Canadian wants to sell an apple for $1 to an American. Now the American has to pay $1.25 because they have to put 25 cents on top because they are the ones importing the apple. They're the ones going to the Canadians and saying, "Hey, I would like apple. Hey, I would like 1 apple, please." And the Canadians are like, "I'll give it to you for $1." They send it off. The government will be like, "Okay, now that's $1.25 because you got to pay the tariff." Obviously, well, I think we probably do give y'all apples to an extent. In the summertime, probably. We do grow apples and export them. I have seen product of Canada on apples before in the United States. And I'm like, But now, all goods crossing that damn border, 25%. And same thing for goods from Mexico to the United States. Now, why? The reason that Donald Trump gave is because there is illegal fentanyl flying in through the border and illegal immigrants coming through both the United States Mexico border and the United States Canada border. Is that true? Sure. There's probably all sorts of stuff. I know a friend who literally accidentally brought their whole ass bong in their suitcase and fully traveled across the border with it. Yes, all sorts of things. People are getting smuggled through the border. Fucking duh. I'm trying not to swear because it's Lent. I just broke it. I was doing so good. I just was doing 5 hours without swearing, and I broke it. So yes, Trump's reason for the tariffs is because he wants to stop fentanyl and wants to stop illegal immigration. But what do we know about Donald Trump? What he says isn't really what he does. for some context, these tariffs were supposed to go into effect a month ago, and then he pushed it back a month. He was like, I'm gonna give y'all 30 days to get the fentanyl off the streets and stop the illegal immigration from fucking Canada. What is so funny about that is there's more people illegally immigrating, and fact check this because I did just read this off an article, but there's more people illegally immigrating from the United States to Canada because they're getting the fuck out of Dodge because it's out scary here. Lent is not going well. So the real reason why these tariffs are coming into place is because Donald Trump wants products to be made in America. And will this be the ultimate effect? Probably. If it is all of a sudden way too cost ineffective to build things in Canada or Mexico or China or any other country and bring it to the United States versus making it in the United States, then companies are going to realize, oh shit, we're not gonna make any money. Like, we need to make stuff in the United States now. So will the tariffs potentially destroy the economy in the meantime? Because all of a sudden everything is gonna go up 25%, which, if you haven't noticed around here, around these parts, hey, people are kind of not having a lot of fucking money at the moment. So, 25% price increases on pretty much everything, and specifically produce. Not a good time. So, will the eventual effect be, yes, companies move some factories to the United States? Sure. Are, like, pretty much the entire country, is the entire country going to get screwed over in the process? Probably. Already, like, I will go to the gym every day and against my will have to look at like CNN on the TVs and like hear about the economy against my will while I'm on my little bike. And over the past 4 days, it's been like Trump says these tariffs will solve our greatest issues. Then it's like Trump says there may be minor problem in the process of doing this. And then it's like today it was like Trump says he is analyzing, he is working on potential price increases because of dumbass. So, but that's not the main point. I need to set up the dominoes so I can knock them over. What I really want to talk about is the effect this has on Canadians and Americans. Because as I said earlier, we used to be the best of friends. We should not be at war with each other. Are you stupid, you fucking orange? Oh! It is maybe the dumbest thing. So what I want to talk about is how I feel like the missing piece in a lot of this is how Canadians feel about Americans right now, because that whole puzzle piece is kind of escaping. It's kind of like mostly stuck within Canadian media, and obviously like I was just there, so I was like asking my friends, I'm like, how you feeling about the South? How you feeling about your southern neighbors? You liking it? They fucking hate y'all right now. I'm so sorry to say it. I'm so sorry. Canadians, by and large, are looking at like mostly the government, but also in general, a lot of Americans like they're fucking lunatics. For example, one of the main things that like has been happening is a mass boycott of pretty much anything American made. So if you go to the grocery store right now in Canada, you will see bins of produce that will say product of the United States. Not a single thing touched. No one grabbing that shit. No one even wants to put their fingers on that nasty fucking onion from like Idaho. Like no one wants that. But then prioritizing Canadian brands and selling that stuff out. They're taking American liquor off of the shelves like in a bunch of different provinces. So you can't even like buy, say, like what do they make in Smirnoff? That sounds Russian, but I don't think we're getting it from Russia. I don't know. And one kind of more personal thing is like a bunch of my family members, like I have so many family members that will like travel between Canada and the United States Like they're called snowbirds. It's like when you're retired and you have like nothing else to do, and it's fucking miserable in Canada. During the winter time, they will like go down to the US, like Florida, Arizona, Hawaii for like 4, 5, 6 months, and just hang out there. They have canceled all of those trips. Like they wouldn't even touch Florida with a 10-foot pole, which, I mean, come on now. Come on now. Like that's nothing new. But it's a very real thing. Like and it's not even on like some performative like I don't want to laugh because I know everyone who participated in this is hearts were in the right place. But there was like, I think it was February 28th. People were like, we are doing a nationwide halt on consumerism. We are not buying anything from any stores. We're using cash only. We are putting a halt on the economy for one day. For one day. For what? So, I don't know. I think sometimes people think that they are on the precipice of revolution when they are, quite frankly, too scared to ask for ketchup from a waiter at a restaurant. Once again, I feel bad because their heart was in the right place. We are at probably the scariest point in time of consumerism and capitalism. Like it probably hasn't been this dire in a very long time and like as bleak as it is. But like, guys, I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. What was one day of boycotting capitalism going to do? When you like. You were just going to make all those Amazon orders the very next day. So this is not like that. What's happening in Canada is not like that. It is a very real boycott because people are like quite frankly, disgusted. Why the fuck? It's like, imagine having such a close friendship and your neighbors with that person. In fact, so there's like a geography benefit. And you used to be best friends and you trade everything. You have each other's Polly Pocket dolls. And then one day they're like, you want my Polly Pocket doll? You got to pay me 25 cents per Polly Pocket boot, bitch. Out of nowhere, just because you want more things. And listen, if I was trying to play devil's advocate, which I don't want to because I think I'll get a fucking brain aneurysm if I try and put my mind into how like a Republican's brain works. But people like Donald Trump and people that fuck with Donald Trump are America first. And I don't think it's an unreasonable thing to want your country to be the most prosperous in the whole world and to be the best in the whole world. But that's not realistic because there's 200 other countries of perfectly good people in the world who also, hey, it would be kind of good if their countries were, I don't know, maybe at least like 100 best. And the thing about America is it's in a certain place in the world where so many countries throughout history have suffered and literally been demolished, torn down. The CIA's thrown coops on them. I'm gonna see, y'all are gonna see like a laser like fly through my window and then just see my brains get blown out behind me right now. But a lot of suffering goes into America, a lot of suffering takes place for America to be quote unquote number one. But why would you want to do that? Not saying that any country is better than the other, but just strategically thinking. Why would you want like the countries that are literally connected to your landmass, Canada and Mexico, to like why would you not want to work together with them? That's what I can't wrap my head around. And I was talking to someone who swings to the right and they were like, well, we don't want Canada like we don't want Canada winning anymore. Like that's like straight up what they said. And I was like, oh, because see, the way I look at it is like, I'm not looking for like one or the other to win. I think like all countries should be able to have slices of the pie, not America just having the whole one. So bringing it all back to how Canadians are feeling. It's been bubbling up for a while. For like, I can remember ever since I was a kid, like we kind of looked at America like, okay, like you guys have your whole like we're number one, we're the best thing, cool. But hey, like as a country that exists outside of the U.S., there's lots of us, and we're also pretty good. We might not be quote unquote the best, but like and honestly, I think my own personal experience, having lived most of my life in Canada and like the past like 5 years in the U.S. is fuck. It'd be so mean to say, because a lot of my friends are American, but Americans really sometimes, this is gonna be a broad generalization and it doesn't apply to everyone, yada yada yada, but Americans do think that they are the center of the world, and it comes out in subtle ways sometimes, and it comes out in very, very, very strong ways. Subtle ways could be like Americans not knowing, like I've literally met Americans that have lived in Washington State and not known the city in the like the biggest city in the province above them, which is Vancouver of British Columbia. Like I can't imagine. And I met someone that lived in where was it? It was Michigan. They lived in Detroit. And couldn't name the city that was literally across the bridge from them. What the fuck? And those are extreme examples, obviously, but knowledge of other countries, and mind you, this is a kind of standard thing, because like, to be quite frank, there's a lot of American history that I don't know, that I wasn't taught in Canadian schools, because we were taught like Canadian history first, First Nations tribes, specifically like in our province. It was like very local, but like I had to do my own kind of research on like who the fuck is on the bills of America. So like I give some grace on how much Americans know about other countries, but like some fucking times it's like, how do you not know what is going on right upstairs? It's kind of crazy. And then of course there's more overt ways of Americans thinking that they are the only ones in the world. That like takes place in obviously like the military. Why the fuck is the US like one of the only countries that has like military presences in like almost every single country? It is the most like scary imperialistic thing ever. What the fuck? It's a spectrum. Do not look up what the lump is in your arm online. Do not look up what is this mole on my back online. It will lead you to despair and darkness. You need a doctor. And thankfully, I'm out of my old ways. I no longer go down WebMD rabbit holes, because I have my own very doctor. And guess what? You're going to need one regardless at some point in your life, unless you're unless you're an AI robot, then you just need a software update. But that's not the case, probably. And you can get yours through ZocDoc. That's where I found my doctor. We're tight like this. You can't see, but I'm making a little cute crossed finger hand gesture. But get this, ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/mama to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/mama, ZocDoc.com/mama. Let's stay freaking healthy this year. Let's make a New Year's Eve resolution on March 6th to stay healthy. Okay, let's continue. Basically, that has always been kind of like common knowledge, and sometimes like the butt of jokes that like Americans, amongst Canadians, like we would joke that like Americans are kind of like in their own little universe sometimes. And living here, my own personal experience living here, I understand how you would fall. I can't speak for the education system in America, but like I understand how you could how you could have that worldview. It's such a perfectly enclosed country. Now I guess like I'm speaking to people that don't live in the US. It's such like a perfectly enclosed country where you can fully go your entire life, sometimes without even leaving your city. But many people that I know who have like never left the country, never left their own state. And which sounds so crazy because like I feel like it's a pretty common thing if you live outside the US to like travel like to other countries and stuff. But it's almost like when you're in the US, there's a general vibe of like, it's like, why would you travel to say, I don't know, like even Mexico? Because on one hand, yes, I would say America, like overall, is probably the most beautiful country in the whole world geographically. Like, mind you, like, is Hawaii really the United States? Like, really? Let's be real. But like, beautiful. But then there's like Alaska, beautiful, which is like so different from like Arizona, like the Grand Canyon. Like, there is so much beautiful geography in this country. So like Americans have like a nice diverse choice of places to go, but like literally I know some people that have never left the country, and it's really kind of crazy to me. That's kind of how people viewed Americans in like my early childhood. Then when I was like in middle school, oh my god, when Trump like first got in no, high school. Jesus Christ, that is so long. Then we started viewing Americans, not everyone, but like more like the people that were like Trump supporters, as like there was an added layer of lunacy, I guess you could say. And then it kind of like went away once like Biden got in. But it's back, baby. It is back. It literally feels like 2016. It's like I went back to Canada for Christmas, which I always do, to like see family and stuff. And like the main kind of thing that like family members, I would tell them that I moved to New York, and they would be like, ugh, ugh, you still living in the States? You still living, like, how are you liking that? And they're like picking my brain, and they're like, how's that orange man? And oh god, where else was I? All different countries. Like when I travel, when I go to like Europe, and when I went to Morocco, like I would tell people I'm from Canada and that I live in the United States. They'd be like, why'd you do that for? What'd you move that for? Like, oh, and it's a weird. I really do feel for like the half of the country that is. Okay, I want to backtrack a little bit and backpedal, because I feel like I've been doing a little bit too much overgeneralizing about Americans. Okay, I do not think that you all are like these little pea-brained like lizards that think the entire world revolves around them and that the United States is the only country. No. Do those people exist? Yes. But that is not the case for everyone. There's what, like 300 million people here. Like, it's not. There's diversity, guys. There's DEI in America. Guys, I support DEI. Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporate. And I saw that right off Twitter. For a second in my mind, I was like, let me play that off as like my own creation. No, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen, guys. In Lent, I'm giving up stealing jokes and swearing. So let's fast forward to now. Now it is March 5th. We are in an official war with each other, a trade war at such, but I'm not too familiar on like how a lot of trade wars have played out in the past, but I do know that the Chinese embassy in the US just said It doesn't matter if it's a trade war or, okay, I'm going to paraphrase this. Let me actually, oh, fuck it. I'll just paraphrase it because I don't know what they said verbatim. But they basically alluded to escalating a trade war to a real war, which was so awesome. To hear. And it's like, it's over the dumbest thing too. It's over like silly little products that we're literally breaking apart centuries and centuries of partnership for no reason. Just because someone wants to make their country the best in the world. And I truly do. It does kind of feel like the world is getting smaller and more closed off, and it feels like every border is getting like 10 feet higher, which is so crazy because I remember growing up thinking like, wow, the world is so big and there's so many countries and we're all interconnected and we all have so many things to share with each other. And now I'm explaining globalism, but like it feels like that has been taken out back, shot, killed, and buried 6 feet under like months and months ago. And listen, I think there's pros and cons to like globalism and having such an interconnected world. And obviously, if I'm going to play a devil's advocate again, I do think it is a little bit silly, for example, for things to be like made in like India or China and be shipped all the way over to the United States. I think that is one of the failures of capitalism, that it is in a monetary sense, in a financial sense, more practical to have something made in horrible labor conditions shipped across an entire fucking ocean so that like someone can use it for 3 seconds or like sell it on TikTok shop and then throw it out after a week. Like that is a failure of capitalism. And what would solve that is things being made in the US or in each individual country, like even just expanding outside of the US, like each individual country making their own things and making them from quality and with like proper labor conditions. And yes, that would cost so much more. I've talked about this before. Like, I feel like whenever this discourse comes up online, the common example is like a sweater. How people, oh, I feel hiccups coming on. No. Fuck. I had the worst hiccup attack earlier today. But sweaters. People are always like, I saw like, I think it was like someone complaining about like a $10 sweater at a store. No, fuck, what was it? Basically, like saying that like it is actually bad. It is actually not good that you can get a sweater for $10 from like Shein in the US, because realistically your $10 sweater from Shein is going to break after 20 washes, is going to disintegrate like fucking dust. The real thing that you should be getting is a $150 sweater, probably around that price range, that is so expensive right off the start, but is going to A, last you a very long time, and B, was made under labor conditions where it actually reflects how much time it takes to make a sweater. If you were to sit down and knit a sweater, you could not do that in 40-ish minutes. Saying like the minimum wage is like $15. There's no way an entire sweater can be sourced, made in 40 minutes. And that's if you're paying them the minimum wage. So like if someone spends, I don't know, 6-7 hours on a sweater, factor in like production costs, okay, then you have a $150 sweater. But basically what I'm trying to say is I don't think it's a bad thing that things should be made more locally. But that doesn't really apply to the Mexico and Canada tariffs, because it's basically right fucking there. It's basically local. We are not that far apart from each other. And even specifically, like there's some communities that are so interconnected. You have Blaine, Washington, right next to Vancouver. You have Detroit right next to fucking Ontario. You have, and this is the embarrassing part where Sault Ste. Marie. No, Windsor. Fuck. This is the embarrassing part where I was going to flame Americans for not knowing the city on the other side of the river from Detroit, and I couldn't even remember it. It's late. Guys, it's late. I'm filming this so late right now. Buffalo, Niagara Falls. Like, you have all these communities that are like it is a border. It's not even a real fucking thing. There's no line. There's actually not even a border between Canada and the US. There's no physical border. It's not even like the US where they're trying to build fences and walls. No, like, it is a connected land mass. And even before all this bullshit of the United States and Canada even existing, it was just one place. It was just one land mass. My wokest take, it will always be that borders are the dumbest fucking thing ever and they need to not exist, which I understand would like come with a lot of problems because yes, we do need borders probably in some cases, but realistically, so fucking dumb. Like, what are we, little toddlers, little babies drawing fucking lines and saying, like, this line's mine. No, this is mine. Get over yourself. What the fuck? So, guys, how do we get into geopolitics on Drama Mama? This is no longer, I'm officially declaring this is no longer Drama Mama. This is now War Mama because we're in war times. I really don't want this to sound as pessimistic as it's probably coming off because I'm not saying this with pessimism. Realistically, I think this shit is going to last like a month. I think a large chunk of Trump voters voted for him for what they thought he could do for the economy. And now that they're seeing the economy be in the fucking shitter and we are literally in a recession almost, that shit's gonna be done so fast. It's gonna be over with before you can say tariff. Because like all other things aside that Trump is doing, the one thing that I think people were hoping the most for was that he would have this amazing economy. And eggs are $4 billion fucking dollars if you can even find them in a grocery store. And yeah. So I know it's doom and gloom right now. I know it seems so crazy that we're just in a fucking trade war with each other, and but I think it won't last forever. I think he's going to have a little bit of a humiliation ritual, Mr. Donald. He's going to have to actually realize you have to work with other people. And if you shutter your country off, like Guantanamo fucking Bay, it's not going to work out too well for you. Me pretending like I'm an economist, like I know. The thing is, it's like Kamala Harris, okay, let me lib out for a second. Kamala Harris's like economic plan was like endorsed by like hundreds of economists, like PhD level economists, but goddamn, y'all, she laughed too much, so now we got Donald Trump. Crazy. What a fun alternate reality we are living in. I would love to know, how do I say this without getting on a watch list? It would be interesting to know what the universe looks like if the thing that whizzed past Trump's head didn't hit his ear and went a little bit to the right. Just wondering for historical purposes what that would look like as a universe. Hang in there, y'all. Save your fucking penny. I will say the one thing, save your pretty penny. Because I don't know much about like recessions, but it sounds like probably good to have a little bit of money saved up. Will it last forever? I don't know how a recession works. No, it won't last forever. How long? I don't know, guys, stop. Guys, please stop asking me about the economy. No, not a single person in here like wants to hear me talk about the economy. Like, you don't give a fuck what I have to say about the economy because I don't know what I'm talking about. Guys, I'm doing my fucking taxes and it's making me want to blow my brains out in a really real way. It's so evil. What the fuck? It's so easy in Canada. You just like go like beep bop boop, and then they give you a little form and you go sign, and then why? Okay, we're actually gonna wrap this up now. Love y'all. Also, we're so freaking back, guys. Can you believe how consistent I've been with posting? I'm posting today, hopefully you're seeing this and a video will be coming out later that day. If not, fuck, I gotta get my shit together. But I want to get on my grind. I want to go live this weekend. So subscribe to my main YouTube channel, and I'll go. I will go. I want to play a game. Comment, guys. Interaction time. Please comment like a good game. This is my dream. I want a good story game, like 8-ish hours that I can play front to back on stream for funsies. Just like a fun little fucking weekend, vibe. Please. And please don't say something so niche that not a single soul has heard of it. Like I want a fun AAA story mode game. Please. Okay. Love y'all. Take care. Bye.
I talk to somebody who's never been punched before because I've never been punched before.